What's going on, everybody? Hello and welcome to the latest episode of What We Talk About. I, of course, am Aaron T. Montgomery. Tonight, that T stands for Tenet, because that's what we will be discussing at length. My partner over there, as always,
Donovan Woods. Also, yep. Okay, go ahead. Yep.
Yeah. You're not as good at this.
Nope.
Donnie, who's with us to talk about this epic movie?
We got the little bro with us today. He's going to judge us for our sound quality, our video editing, and pretty much that's everything we're doing tonight. He's even wearing a sport coat.
He owns a sport coat? Okay.
He's creeping up on 30 now. He has to do it.
It's a shirt.
Getting those Amazon. Hold on. Did you say 30?
Yes.
Say it.
How, you 29?
I'm 29.
Unbelievable.
You're telling me.
I feel terribly old. All right. Well, Jeffrey, thanks for coming out. We had to have you on this episode, definitely, because you and me have
fanboys.
a very good appreciation for Christopher Nolan. Yes.
Infatuation.
Absolutely.
All right. Donnie doesn't understand.
Idolatry.
He doesn't understand like many people that saw Interstellar don't understand.
No one knows what that movie means.
Now let me ask you this, Donnie. Jeffrey. Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Easier to understand, Tenet or Interstellar?
Oh, by far Interstellar.
Got you. I appreciate that.
That says a lot, considering there was a man in a bookcase. I don't know why he was there to this day.
I haven't figured that one out yet. So let's start with this. We waited because of pandemic conditions. Obviously, we waited until we could see this at home before we saw it. Was it worth the wait, in your opinion?
As for you, Jeff.
Jeffrey,
me?
Go for you. Go for you. I'm sorry, I didn't say your name.
Yeah, absolutely. It was worth the wait. I think in theater, it would have been better just to get that experience. Anytime you see a Nolan movie in IMAX, it's always a special experience, especially when I saw Interstellar. That was amazing. But seeing it at home was still awesome. Yeah, so it was worth the wait for sure.
I would have rather have seen this in the theater because I probably would have been able to hear it better. Does he intentionally find people that speak in low tones? Like the Russian dude, did you understand anything he said?
Ooh. I'll tell you this, Aaron. This is, I don't think I recognized that in The Dark Knight. Were there moments in The Dark Knight where it was hard to hear? Besides Christian Bale and the way he did the Batman voice, but was there anything? I remember.
Wouldn't say so.
No, and I think I noticed it for the first time in Dark Knight Rises in the intro scene.
Definitely.
That I saw in the theater, and I had to see it again to understand what was happening on that plane scene. And since then, it seems to be a thing he does. I don't know why, but
I mean, Dark Knight Rises, they literally had to go back and redub Bane dialogue because his voice was so muffled that it was hard for him to understand. In this movie, like the end sequence when you have the war and then the Russian on the boat, he's whispering and there's explosions going on in the other scenes. So it's like, dude, give me something. Like, I don't know that
that
didn't ruin anything
on the
for
phone
me, but
talking.
Yeah,
because I'm just like, I never know what he says, but I just know it made Denzel, little Denzel mad. But
little Denzel.
Let me. You know what? I'm taking over host ownership because I need you to give commentary on this as well as Jeffrey, because both of you think Christopher Nolan's the best thing since Jesus Christ. So let me go back to the beginning of this movie.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Before we break this movie down, where does it rank on your Christopher Nolan list of movies? Aaron, we'll start with you.
Inception is number one for me.
Still.
I love Inception.
Okay.
And then after that, a close second, The Dark Knight.
Okay.
And then Batman Begins. This is above.
You know what?
The Dark Knight.
I
Rises.
think we have to start all over again. Because I'm wondering what I don't know what you said at the beginning. Because did you say you are recording this, or do I need to record this through Zoom?
I am recording this.
There we go, guys. We're going to keep that as it is. Please continue.
if you want to hit that record button anytime you want, buddy.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, so I put this one above Dark Knight Rises. And I'm not sure if it's above Interstellar. I need to watch it again, to be honest with you.
I think the Power Rangers movie that came out recently is above Interstellar, but that's just me. Jeffrey, where does it rank for you?
I think with time, it will probably change. Just the more I kind of like am able to process everything that happened in it. But for right now, I would say my top favorite Christopher Nolan movie is still The Dark Knight. Second would probably be Inception, and then Tenet, and then probably Interstellar right now.
I feel like you guys were more excited about this coming out than Interstellar. And I say that because when the preview came out, which seems like it was 5 years ago now, I was even excited. Going backwards, moving in the, backwards. It was in a theater when I saw the first preview. I don't remember what movie it was, but I was excited. Like, oh, that could be good. Plus, it had little Denzel in it. So I'm like, hey, all right, I'll check this out. Actually, what's his name? John David Washington.
Yes. Yep.
We'll call him Little John. So after seeing it, were you satisfied with it? You've only seen it once, correct, Aaron?
Correct.
Were you satisfied?
Yes, I was. It was a great visual, just the visuals of it were fantastic. The moving backward, moving forward, he did it seamlessly. Like, I don't know how he did that. I don't know how you do a backwards fighting scene, but he did it, and it worked. Like, it didn't look like pieced together. Like they had to cut up some, or you couldn't tell any editing along those lines. Like, I get the backwards war at the end, basically going frontward and backward at the same time. I mean, the thought of filming that blows my mind, to even come up with that, and then to build a story around this, that the story itself kind of made sense from the part that I understood. More so than Interstellar did to me. So I was satisfied with it. Now I want to watch it again just to know how good of a movie it was.
Okay, because I mean, I for the audience, every time these guys see a Christopher Nolan movie, they love it. There's never been one they've said, I just don't like it. And then upon the second viewing, it is the Holy Grail. So I'm sure when Aaron sees this again, he will think it's, again, greatest thing since probably the Book of Revelation. So, Jeffrey, how did you feel about it on the first time? I know you've seen it 4 times in 4 days. So how did you feel about it on day one?
The first time I saw it, I loved it. It lived up to everything I wanted it to be. It was definitely confusing. So afterwards, I had a lot of questions. It's by far the most confusing movie I've seen that Christopher Nolan has done. But after watching it a second and then a third time, the third time watching it with subtitles was extremely helpful.
Smart. I didn't think about that.
Caught a lot of stuff I didn't catch the first time around. But yeah, I still love it. It didn't wear on me at all. It has a very high rewatchability. And I feel like the more you watch it, the more you kind of understand the story and what's happening.
I think his movies are rewatchable because, and I think that's one of the shows on The Ringer. How about that? I think his shows are rewatchable because you don't know what happened. And there's portions of it where you're kind of anxious to go, okay, now that makes sense. Now, let's go through the movie. I don't want to give a whole review of the movie, but let's start with some of the main characters. Let's go with someone minor. Do you think the scientist in the beginning that's explaining the Tenet, the back and forth thing to him with the bullet, do you think she plays a much bigger role than the amount of screen time she got? This is for anybody.
No.
Okay.
Because her explanation meant nothing to me. Her explanation of it is like the bare minimum to try to explain what was going on. You have to pretend like you're dropping it to pick it up.
Okay.
What? That's literally what she said, and you're like, and John David Washington is like, oh, okay, I'm glad you cleared it up for me. I'm like, what are you talking about? That makes no sense at all.
Jeff, am I correct in saying that he will definitely need to watch this movie again to see the significance, or am I missing something?
Yeah, I would say definitely rewatch it. Maybe even watch some third-party videos that kind of break down the.
I definitely did some reading after I watched the movie.
It's that type of movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Go ahead.
Go ahead. I didn't think that explanation. Like I do need to go back and see it again because in the moment that explanation did very little to help me understand what was happening. Okay. By the end of the movie, looking back at it, I get it. I understand what she was saying. But one thing about Christopher Nolan, I don't think he wastes time with
he does not
a real detailed explanation of things. No. Like this is what it is. Either accept what I'm telling you or don't. But this is it. That's like even in Inception, it moved at a rapid pace. Like this is a dream. Oh, they're in a dream? Yes, they're in a dream. Stop thinking about that. We're on to the next thing already. Right. He did the same thing with this. Things are going backwards. He throws you right into that and it's like, what? Like immediately the bullet flies backwards from him. And it's like, before you know what's going on, you're in the middle of it.
And I think that is a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing in that when you think about Endgame for the Avengers, maybe the reason I didn't love it as much was because they definitely tried to explain the time travel, what they were going to do. And I think that when you're listening to it, you're going, that does not make sense. Whereas in this one, they quickly reference things from Back to the Future and they were like, yeah, that's the way you go. Don't run into your past self. That's it. I'm like, okay, see, that makes sense to me. Okay, now what did you feel about the two characters? This is for you, Jeffrey. When comparing, I forget Leo DiCaprio's character's name in Inception, but him versus John David, who's the better character?
I would say you definitely get more of a backstory on Leo's character, but the two movies are different because the protagonist, or whatever they call John David's character, his background really doesn't play a big role until the very end. It's not till the end of the movie that you find out that he was orchestrating this whole thing from the beginning. So if you find out too much in the beginning, it kind of ruins, the entire lead up to that part. Whereas Leo's part was like, it played with his wife and his children. Yep. So that was important.
I think Leo's portion, you're seeing Leo replay the same few scenes. So you're a little bit more in tune. Go ahead, Aaron.
I need explanation on this. So how did the end show you that he started it?
By the very end, when he's in the car, is when I figured
when
it out.
When he's in the car with old girl, how did that play into him starting this whole scenario?
Go ahead, Jeff.
That's the part I'm missing.
I had to go to a video to figure this out, but go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, so don't quote me on this. This is like my understanding after watching a couple things. Right. But basically, he was setting this whole scenario up. So he sent Neil backwards in time. So up until this point, he sent Neil's character backwards in time to meet his younger self to help him accomplish this mission. So it's at the end of the movie you find out that him and Neil had this relationship,
right,
in the protagonist's future, but in Neil's past. And also, he's been like protecting Kat up until this whole point, and it gets a little confusing.
That makes sense because you start to question. I'm assuming Neil is the future Batman guy. That's your guy,
Robert Pattinson.
He kind of seems shady for a minute, and then by the end of it, you're obviously going, okay, he's not shady, but that makes sense to know why he was kind of secretive, especially the scene where he's fighting one of the guys, takes his helmet off, and he doesn't do anything. He just walks away. And I'm always thinking the whole movie, like, what? Why didn't he go after that guy? So there's that.
Okay, but
go ahead. And then when he's in the car, the little boy, like, to me, that's him. That's Neil. That little boy is him. So he's been watching over him his whole life, and he's on the phone with his mom, and he's right in the car. He, taps out whatever the girl's name, the woman's name is. To me, that little boy is Robert Pattinson.
Pattinson. I kind of thought that too, but I didn't dwell on it. But so Robert Pattinson, there are like at very least 3 of him.
Yeah.
In the same time, from at different points in the movie, because that's him at the beginning saving.
Right.
John David. And then that's him. So that last big climax is 3 things happening at once: the yacht in Vietnam, that was Vietnam, them attacking the bunker.
I did not hear that. Okay.
On the yacht, yeah. She told the wife tells the whole story like this was the best moment that she had when they were in the yacht. So they're on the yacht. They're attacking the underground bunker in Russia, and the thing that happened in Kiev at the very beginning is all happening at the exact same time. So
Sure.
that's what I'm saying. So there's multiple Robert Pattinsons
right.
in this world. And at the very end, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeffrey, he goes back down into the bunker to die.
Correct.
What?
Yeah.
Because that's him who jumps up to prevent John David from getting shot in the face. He jumps up and takes that bullet.
Right. Yep. You're right.
That was his body that was down
Missed
there.
that. Okay.
So at the very end, when he gives his piece of the pie to Lil Denzel, then he goes back into the bunker.
John.
Does he? But he goes back down there knowing that he's going to die.
Correct. Because in that scene, he says, "This is where our friendship ends for me, and it kind of like continues for you," because he knows he's going to go in there and die in that bunker.
So he's from the future, but moving backwards to help John David to his death.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a pretty like Christopher Nolan is an evil genius.
No, Christopher Nolan is
genius.
Nas. Okay, and could you please, Aaron? Could you quote the line where I'm referencing why he's Nas? Please quote it.
Because if you don't understand him, it don't mean that he's nice.
That's how I feel about him. That's Christopher
all
Nolan.
The stuff that he writes.
That's it. No one knows.
Yeah.
So because you're like, oh, I didn't. Oh, that guy's so smart. No, he's not. If you're an audience member, give me Steven Spielberg. By the end of Minority Report, I said, got it. Bet. Cool.
I understand
Robert
that.
Zemeckis.
I get your point.
3 time travel movies, and at the end of all of them, I'm like, got it. Every one of his movies besides Batman. You know what? You know who I am in all of his movies? I am Barbara Gordon, or Commissioner Gordon's wife. When she comes in and slaps him in the face like she thought he was dead, that's me. I don't know what's going on. Why are you keeping secrets? Tell me what's happening. I'm here with you. Good grief.
I get it, but there's something to be said for a movie that makes you think. That sticks with you. You'll be thinking about this movie much longer than you'll ever be thinking about.
I still think about Miss Celie. I still think about a lot of things that happen in The Color Purple they won't write, but that don't mean I didn't understand what was happening.
I understand that, but this sticks with you in a different way. Is my point.
Okay, y'all will make up so many excuses for this guy. Let's come to a conclusion in this episode. Let's
that
go back in time and invert ourselves and say, if you were in the theater right now, if you had risked COVID to go see this, would it have been worth it?
I can't answer that.
Jeffrey,
talk to me.
I don't think I would have risked COVID.
Knowing what you saw, would you have risked COVID for it?
I would say it would be a better experience in theater, but
that's not what I asked you. No,
I wouldn't risk.
Would
COVID.
you have risked COVID to go see this in theater, knowing what you know now?
I wouldn't risk COVID for any movie. No.
Then I don't believe you because Aaron, you said no, right?
I did say no.
I'll tell you both this to show you how much I do care about things. Knowing what I know about the season ending of Mandalorian 2, I would have gone in without a mask, brought 10 people with me, and just been breathing out my mouth the whole time. That's how much I would have risked COVID to see the end of Mandalorian 2, knowing what I know now. Would you have done the same, Aaron? Yes or no?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Definitely. But that's a topic for another show that we will be doing soon. Let's stick with Tenet. Johnny, not liking or loving Christopher Nolan like me and your brother do, but having enjoyed his movies before, are you looking forward to watching Tenet again?
It's such an investment. No, I'm not. No. Because I don't think the ending is satisfactory for me. I don't think I came away feeling emotional about what happens to the bad guy. I didn't feel any kind of way about what happens to the woman, or even John David. I felt more, I felt the most pain for in the whole movie to show you was probably the guy who was his partner at the very beginning, who gives him the pill that wasn't cyanide or whatever. So that guy I felt bad for. That it didn't build any emotional attachment. Whereas at the end of Inception, I still want to know, man, did he get back to his kids? That movie had a much more emotional connection for me.
I can go along with that. Jeff, did you have any idea why the future wanted to destroy the past?
They don't really go into detail about that.
Right.
So, yeah, you don't know the motivation of why the future is trying to destroy the past.
Apparently, it must have been stated in the article I read. It was like they were mad at the past because of climate change.
Oh my God.
That's what the article said. I was like,
I completely
missed that part.
So you, instead of going back and fixing it, you just kill everybody. All right, everybody, let's wrap this up, Aaron, because this movie's garbage. Now I'm never going to see it again.
It's not garbage. First of all, the first thing you texted that this movie was awesome. That was your first text.
It's just like when you first hear a Nas song, you're like, oh my goodness, okay. And then you think about it and you go, what? And that's how I feel.
I mean, whatever. Nas is still one of the greatest of all time. Nolan is great. Whatever he does, I will always watch and I will always support and I will think about often.
Let's just put this out there for the audience to know and then definitely wrap this up after I say this. Please wrap it. Jeffrey, thank you for being our guest. Let me just say this so you have a little bit more background on Aaron Tenet Montgomery. He also is a loyalist to M. Night Shyamalan. It took for a man to be in the water with a lady with an arm that was stronger than the other for him to finally give that drink.
No. M. Night Shyamalan is he's a better actor than he is a director at this point. Let's wrap this thing up. Jeffrey,
Please.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Anybody that's seen this movie, if you have a better explanation, please write it down, give it to us, because I need more help. Donnie?
It's the signs of a good movie.
Night.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Oh, my goodness.